IVM.
This is Audio Gyan, and I am your host Kedar Nimkar. Welcome to a deep dive into the minds of luminaries from the Indian creative world. Welcome to a brand new series of Audio Gyan, Where Are the Designers? It's a 12-part series featuring few of the top influential design leaders in India, talking about the process of hiring, challenges in finding and retaining talent, and some tips for young designers to make a cut after they apply. I'm so happy and proud to introduce my co-host for this series, Abhineet Tiwari. He works at Gojek as a designer. Hey Abhineet, welcome back.
Hey Kedar, happy to be back again and looking forward to this conversation with Vasudha today.
Yes, today is going to be interesting because she's a designer turned recruiter. So I'll have like a quick introduction about her as well. She's a well-known name in the design community since she helps us find design talent. Yes, Vasudha is a designer turned design recruiter, helping designers and startups to find the right match. Actually, her LinkedIn bio says on an average, 1 out of 5 designers she sends to any company gets hired, and her client includes Flipkart, Ola, Swiggy, Housing, ClearTax, and more. We are here to know the story from the person who is actually in the no man's land. I mean, that's how I put it, from being an active hiring manager. If I have to say that the active hiring managers are on the front line, she's sort of in between the designer and... Is that correct analogy, Abhineet?
Yeah, I think that kind of works. Rest, Vasudha, you can pitch in if being in the no man's land sounds good to you.
Okay. Vasudha, welcome. And thank you for being on Audio Gyan. It's a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me, guys. Super excited to be speaking with you both.
Cool. So does the analogy sound correct or no?
Yeah, I think I would just change no man to no women's land. I think apart from that, it fits perfectly.
That's perfect. Yeah, we have a question around that as well. So let's see. But in this series, we have a rapid fire round, which is sort of surprise questions. Mm-hmm. And those are 10 questions. Not much of thinking. No need to be politically correct. It's just whatever comes to your mind. Right? So I'll start off by, like, how many profiles do you scan in a day?
I don't work like that, actually.
Okay.
So I can't answer on the rapid fire on those things.
Okay,
I don't count the number of profiles. I think that goes for a more detailed answer where I can share more on how I work.
Okay, sure. And what's the weirdest or the funniest line you have read in a resume?
Not much. I think for me, the funniest, there's not much of funniest line, but basically the resume didn't have anything. Just a job title, year, that's it.
Wow.
And that was the resume. And this is for a head of design position.
Wow, we have something really exciting coming our way. Your instant cuss word when you see someone forwarding a random resume without any context, possibly like the file, the PDF or the PNG itself says resume.png.
No, I think I've matured now, so I just delete it or archive it.
Favorite design quote, since you are a designer also?
No, nothing as such. God, I'm so horrible in this rapid fire. There is no repetition.
No worries. Yeah, it's like, and it's intentionally not shared, so it's completely fine. वो real कॉफी पे करंट पे तो पहले ही बता देते हैं, तो ठीक है, चलो we'll have a real one. What impresses you more, an eye candy profile or a well-written Medium article?
I think for me, it's the story. So with every designer, I speak with them beforehand, and it's more about understanding their career journey. So whenever I connect with them, that's where the magic happens.
Nice. One worst part and one best part of your current job?
I'll say the worst part. It's damn easy. And again, it will land me into trouble probably, but I absolutely hate working with the legal and the finance team, doing all the paperwork. Seriously, the bigger the company, the more the pain. It goes on forever and ever, and absolutely hate that part. Best part is, of course, straightforward. It's speaking with designers. it's, I feel that way I have the best job in the world, where I get to speak to designers for a living and hear their whole journey, their whole career, their learnings, their failures. So yeah.
Nice. And what do you miss, because you're not working as a designer? Do you miss anything particularly?
Not now, I would say, but of course, when I started, it was a very, very hard transition. It looked very easy on paper, but as a designer, you are always creating something and shipping something. So at the end of the day, you have the satisfaction कि कुछ तो किया है, like this is the output I have done. Wherein as a recruiter, you might be calling 20 people, 10 of them initially would say that ठीक है अभी बात नहीं करना, and you become kind of a call operator. You are not creating anything. So 6 months would gone by and you have not designed or like shipped any product or anything, and that was kind of the hardest transition to do.
Interesting. Your favorite company to hire for?
No.
I mean, is where you'll find the less
Why,
pain.
Why,
They're more
man?
organized. In fact, I'm asking you for your favorite company, which is
Actually, it's not favorite company. I would say I have favorite hiring managers I have worked with, like wherein the person is very design centric, so you don't have to kind of convince them that how design works. So that part is done. You can really do the good part of the work. So it's not really the company, but as such, I'm landing myself into trouble. But I've rejected a lot of companies when they have approached me just because I couldn't gel well with the hiring manager.
Oh, okay, interesting. A good designer for you, in 1 or 2 words, who's a good designer for you?
Solves problem.
Okay. And this is really random, which I thought, one song that describes your profession.
Oh boy. This is not even into coffee of current question. How do you come up with these?
Yeah.
Dude, I need like a 1 hour session to think on this. I really can't. If you have like a bullet thing, I could pick something among them.
Yeah, I while writing I was just thinking यार बहुत ही random है, but ठीक है चलो यहाँ पे तो मैं I'll have my trip.
Yeah, you should supply questions to coffee.
Yeah. All right. That's the end of the rapid fire round. Thank you for doing this. And yeah, we'll move to our main conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought you seem to be the right person for us to ask questions. And I'll open up with a more broader question. And Abhinit, please chip in, as you have been hiring for very long, and you have built like a 10 member, say like 100+ member team. I'm sure you have a different perspective to share and also ask questions. So please go for it. But I'll open up by asking a much more broader question, in a sense. What do you think is the state of design talent in India? And since you have been dealing with more leadership type roles, you can pick anything, as in like quantity, quality, good, bad, ugly, whatever comes to your mind. Just like we'll start there.
Yeah, that's a great question to begin with. So, design talent has been steadily evolving in India. Currently, like you said, from last couple of years, I've been concentrating more on leadership positions. So, I think currently you have more of junior designers, because there are a lot of design schools which are propagated in India, wherein you don't need earlier it was like you have to go to NITs and all of these design schools to get a design degree. So there is a lot more fresh talent in the market. I don't see that many of junior designers opening as such. In terms of senior lead designers, I do think India has a very good talent base. Lack of, there is always, like with every hiring manager I speak with, everybody kind of complains about this, that India is becoming more and more visual design focused rather than becoming UX design centric. And if you are speaking to hiring managers, the common complaint is specifically, think of companies, e-commerce company where you have a B2C and B2B side. Every B2B hiring manager complains that, nobody wants to come work with us. Enterprise is a different ball game to solve. Everybody wants to go to B2C, and the state has become like, if you're not doing motion design, if you're not doing visual design and eye candy illustrations and all, are you even designing? And so the conversation, the interview begins with hiring manager convincing that, hey, we are a legit design company, then pitching the hiring role and then starting the interview process. So that's where the struggle is for the hiring managers in senior or lead designer positions. Coming to design leadership, it's been a really, really interesting ball game. Pre-COVID, the situations were completely different. With COVID, the kind of product verticals which have survived, and there is a great influx of money. The amount of funding startups are getting is outright crazy. That's the only word I could think of. If you look at just 4 or 5 years ago, the amount of funding you were getting for Series C, Series D startup, that's something you are getting in Series A. So since I work on leadership positions, I had a kind of clear criteria that only Series B or onwards company is something I would work with, because you can't afford head of design. And frankly, all said and done, in India, your first hire, if you're building a startup, is never a designer. It's always a engineer. You will get PM, sales guy, and then comes designer. Even if you hire designer, it's always a junior or senior level designer. So now the challenge is, and also if you look at how startups have evolved, right? Like earlier, it used to be you have one product, and worst case, you will have like one head of design who have 7-8 member design team, max 10 member design team. Or if you're looking for a bigger positions or much bigger design org, you have to go to bigger firms like Flipkart, Myntra, or Amazon, Walmart, sort of this. That's how the typical structure was. Now, if you look at the current hierarchy in design, right, like there are a lot of companies which are becoming an eco-suite of products. What I mean by that is it's not one product which the person is building, like the company is building. You have a plethora of 6-8 verticals, and then you are combining and making an eco-suite of products. So it's becoming sort of like a SaaS company model where you are delivering 7-8 results. And now, since with the design maturity, people understand that, hey, you need a design director to see that on top, how do all these products work as an ecosystem? Like, let's say if you want to, there are so many unicorn startups which are coming from India. So next 5-6 years down the line, if you want to become a unicorn startup, if you want to gain 1 billion, 10 billion valuation, how do you go about it? Which products to kill for, which customers to acquire, and so on and so forth, right? So now India has evolved from multiple business model wherein you have a design director, design manager, head of design and all. So पहले था कि एक startup में if you have one head of design का opening, that same company currently is having 5 design leadership opening at different verticals. Then you have IC role and senior lead designers and all sort of things, right? So now the challenge becomes since in India, design leadership, frankly, didn't really existed unless and until you are working in a very large firms, right?
Yep.
Apart from that, among in startups, or I would say not even startup, mid-stage companies, mid-growth companies as such, but design leadership never existed. So now the challenge becomes that, hey, we are giving you seat at the table, but then the problem with the designers is that we have never had this position. And unlike when it comes to management or specifically people management and these sort of additional skill set which comes with it, that's something you can't learn in solitude. Like you have to go into water. You can't learn swimming by seeing the tutorials, that sort of thing, right? So there is a lot of issues which comes in that the designers need to understand the business of design. You have to have really good product understanding so that you can have a argument or have this healthy discussion with product managers, pitch in your point of view, stakeholder management, advocating for design, building hiring practices, design ops, design system, all those sort of things. So the challenge here becomes is that companies are saying that designers get the seat at the table, but there is no designers who can match up the ball game. So now there is a real shortage of design talent, and I think now is when India facing these challenges that how can you grow design leadership within the company? How do you cultivate those things? How do you train those designers? Because it's not something you can learn in design schools. So not sure if I answered the question, but yeah, that's my take on it.
You definitely did, and I'm sure you gave me and Kedar many more questions. Yeah, I just wanted to pick on something really interesting that you said, Vasudha, which is honestly speaking, when companies are starting up, designers are not part of their first hires.
Yeah.
You also touched on the journey. I think we all have been a part of in some way last
Right.
5-10 years, just seeing the tremendous growth of companies here. Do you think that has changed? Has it improved as compared to 5 years ago?
Yeah, definitely. Like, so initially a part of my work when, I became recruiter was convincing or sort of educating, the startup founder that why you should hire a lead designer, not a junior designer. I mean, we'll touch on this on detail, but, primarily if you can't mentor the person, you shouldn't hire that person as such.
Yep.
Now I see companies like, frankly, like yesterday, I got a mail from a seed funded startup that we want a head of design. The first time during COVID, when I got this, Series A firm which was looking for head of design, my first instinct was to tell them that, okay, there is a difference between lead designer becoming head of design and head of design actually working as a head of design. And they were like, no, we understand and we are looking for a head of design. And
Sure.
I was like, a lot of those time, it's, so in like designer terms, it is like joining the company and explaining them that how design works, like what is the importance of design. So for me, it was such a delight that I don't have to do all of that part. I can just drive straight into, okay, let's figure out what kind of designers you are looking for and how do we hire post that. So yeah, that, I mean, like 5 years back, there is no way I would have, like, even I would have thought that companies at seed stage will be hiring a head of design to start off with. So if not the first designer, designers are being a part of the company, definitely even I would say not just designer, head of design is becoming a part of the company in first 10-20 hires. That's a remarkable leap.
Sure. And do people who finally join as head of designs after you've already educated the founding team, do they ever thank you for doing their job for you in advance?
I don't think of it that way, but what
Sure.
I do is that whenever I start working with early stage founders, specifically if you are hiring head of design for the first time, right? So there is always a good amount of design depth which exists in the company. Like, I mean, head of design you have just hired now, but the work was getting done by someone or the other. So part of, whenever I work with them, it's this whole consulting becomes that kind of educating them that you were already taking over some part of the role, and how do you make specifically space for the head of design to come and flourish, rather than because if the person is coming in, if they have to battle with each and everything that, okay, this is supposed to be my job, and of course there is little bit of training period as well, but if you are joining a early stage startup, it is a hustle mode, so there is everything is on fire, and all of those things exist. So but usually founders and hiring managers are not really aware that how do you create the space. And similarly for designers, kind of, now that I've been doing design recruitment for over 6.5 years now, so I've had my share of epic list of failures and all, and just revisiting and speaking with the designers I placed early head of design. What were your learnings? Like, what are the things you feel that if the founder knew earlier, that would have helped you, or just
Sure.
creating a little bit of empathy. So yeah, that sort of thing. I think there was only one time where in my whole career as a recruiter, I pushed one designer really hard to join a company, and I was like taking stock and just evaluating, why am I pushing this person so hard? And the only reason was that this person was working in an MNC, and again, I'm landing myself into trouble. But I've been an MNC hater from my college days. So for me, it was like, hey, and this person would have worked with the best design mentor in design industry, and just kind of making sure they understand what startup is about, what MNC is all about. That's the only reason. And yeah, that's where I think I got a thank you note a couple of months back that, hey, thank you for pushing me to do this. So those are always, of course, delightful, but yeah, I mean, these are the good part of the day.
Yeah.
Sure.
So in fact, actually, I should have started on a different, as on like an earlier note, that it is generally said na कि मतलब if you are in the traffic, you are the traffic. तो actually वो question मुझे पहले start करना चाहिए था कि like at what level of frustration did you decide to become a recruiter? As in, I mean, why did you become a recruiter also? Did you find the gap, or was it just monetarily more exciting, or any parameters that you evaluated and decided to get into it?
So for me, of course, I mean, I didn't thought designer was a pathway as well. So design just happened accidentally to me. Similarly, recruiting also, I kind of fell into it. मेरा कुछ ऐसा ambition नहीं था कि एक दिन life में design recruiter बनना है, like, getting that title as such. So the backstory of it is that when I was, finding my next job after Shoppo, like I landed up in Practo, but that whole interview experience, and this is, guys, back in 2011, and I was an HTML CSS designer, which means design assignment, matlab, you have to make that full website with coded and everything. That was a part of standard design assignment. Nobody even thought that why we are asking this and all. That was a standard thing. So I applied to HasGeek job board, and there were 13 companies. I applied to all 13 of them. 12 of them called me back. I had no idea that anybody would be recruiting me. So it was just like crossfinger, ek job offer aa jaye, and 13 wanted to hire me. I had no idea how to go about it. In fact, I was so dumb that forget B2B, B2C. I was applying to design agencies and product companies, and my version was design to design hota hai. Kahin pe bhi jaake aap design hi karoge. I didn't understand what is the difference, what is the life cycle. All those things. I was pretty much fresh out of college, so I had no idea, what of this is happening. And that's when I faced all the struggles of, a lot of companies. I think with all interview process, I became smarter because, of course, you can't, do 14 large assignments at the same time. And I had no idea. So I was not even expecting one job offer. When 14 called me back, I was like, how do I now go about it? So with every company, I started making notes and what I liked, what I didn't like a lot. So I realized that interview experience, if you do it right, it can be a great, self-learning exercise. What you like, what are the options you would have, because for a fresher, how do you even evaluate or, see companies which companies is better, on what criteria you are evaluating? In your mind, you might be saying that I am a very good visual designer, but compared to who? It depends upon which pool of companies or which pool of candidates you are comparing yourself to. So that was one. And then when, of course, this was like way, I landed up in Practo, and then when I was speaking with other fellow designers, I would say that, hey, if you're interviewing with this company, these are my notes. And it had everything in terms of, if you are, let's say, if you are interested in a UX or like interaction design, which was my expertise, which companies will be better fit for you? If you want to become a startup person, which companies is better? What are the role options? What is the culture like? What is the issues in the company, and all of those things, which you couldn't find back in those days on online or any Google search me. Mm-hmm. So every designer was like, hey, this is, gold mine, and I don't have to do the interview process. I have like just shortlisted company by seeing this. And that's when it occurred to me that why the hell I had to do all this interview process to just figure out which company is offering what. These things should be, like told to me in the first round itself. Why do I, with every company ke saath 6-7 interviews, 8-7 interview karna, it was just a pain process. So like this was something that, hey, this is something you could do with, but I think with the designers ke saath, you have every other day you have some idea to work on, and it gets piled on. So I had my idea book, and by the time I was like, let's pick up some side project to work on, everything was obsolete. So sure. One of the idea was, design hiring. And again, I was so dumb, and I've come from like an engineering background. So my approach in picking up side projects is like doing it a hackathon, like assign like, a weekend to it and finish it off. So assigned hiring, 50 hours की, ठीक है, एक weekend में hiring खत्म करते हैं, उसके बाद next project पे काम करेंगे. So I realized that after working for 50 hours, ki nahi, hiring can't be done in 50 hours mein. How do I even go about it? And that's when the whole process started. I started working with 1 week and all, and that's kind of how it, like, once I started speaking with designers and hiring managers, it was a whole together different world which got opened up. Mm-hmm. Whatever I was thinking the problems was, it was like nowhere close. It was like big Mount Everest. And my first thing was, how on earth people are working like this. Like, what is wrong with everyone? I thought my experience was bad, but what the hell is wrong with everyone? Why is, there is no better approach to doing this? And yeah, I guess from something which started off for 50 hours, it's been 6.5 years now. Still
Awesome.
going on.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. So I'll just pick on that a little more, Vasudha,
Sure.
for our listeners, right? Like, can you go in a little detail about what does a typical day look like for a design recruiter?
Hmm.
And then I have a second part. I'll come to that later.
Okay. So it's not like a day-to-day activity. I can't, because it varies from every single day. But overall, my process is first understanding very in depth on. So I speak to different stakeholders in the company to understand what are the challenges they're having, what is the product roadmap, what is the culture like in the company. Like every org, I would see, like specifically at a leadership level, there are certain given traits for which, for example, like if it's a fintech company, right? Like data is a very integral part of it, but nobody says that in the interview process. So picking on things like that and having, at least I have 2-3 rounds of interview with everyone, because I've learned that the first round every hiring manager is like, come to awesome hai. Like, come work with us. We don't have any problems. Like, we are just fantastic.
They dress to impress, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it becomes kind of it's like, it becomes your second language ki neem mein se thappad maar ke uthao to pitch shuru ho jayega. So that sort of thing. And similarly, when it comes to designer, I, keep speaking with them. So I don't have this approach that, hey, I called up some designer and say that I have this job, would you be interested? I am totally against this whole thing. I hated this part as a designer, and I like the day I do this, I'll step down of the recruitment process. I'm not a recruiter anymore. So it's more about understanding designer journey. What are the things they have done? What is their ideal set of companies? And what are the things they are looking to grow in next in the career? And then kind of connecting the dots. And like, so now I formulated some processes wherein you can streamline certain steps in the interview process. Part of it is also consulting the company on, I do comp benchmarking for a lot of companies. Pretty much everybody I worked with, I've done the comp benchmarking for them, kind of streamlining the interview process, making sure the interview process is short and sweet, and compacting everything, every round as easily as possible. So yeah, those sort of things.
Sure. So the second thing was like, you mentioned, like, now there are companies at different scales, right? In larger design teams, what I'm seeing now is with the emergence of design ops, right? A lot of design teams themselves are now designing the interview experience and taking up
Right.
bits of recruitment, right? So do you have any tips for those teams? Like, and especially you mentioned you're focusing on Series B and onwards, right? So for those Series A scrappy startups out there, do you have any tips on where to scout talent from, or how do you do it generally?
So for me, 90% of the designers, or even 95%, I would say that everything is referral based. And so also I think it helps that I was a designer. So it becomes, whenever I'm speaking to a designer, I can speak in that language still, even if there is new tools and technology which I have pretty much absolute no clue on how to work on. But at core level, I can speak in their language. And since I understand the challenges and problem spaces, like I think same in design ops, you understand that with every level, this is the expectancy every company will be having. Like if you are hiring lead designer, these are the sort of things you can expect as a part of responsibilities or takeaway, right? And similarly for head of design, these are the things this person is going to offer you. So just understanding those landscape, between that. In terms of hiring, for me, it has been always a referral thing. I've already spoken with this designer. So for example, if like 6.5 years ago, when I started working on junior designer, senior designer, that person has now become design manager or head of design.
Sure.
So I already have a connect with that person. I know the whole journey of the person, that this is how they evaluate it. With every candidate I've worked with, every designer I've worked with, I have detailed notes about them. And then I go back and take feedback from companies and designers that what worked, what didn't work, if you had to do this all over again, what would you like to change, and all those sort of things. So over a period of time, you have a very great repository of information which you can't Google away or find it. And overall, I've maintained a referral network of designers. So these are the designers who hire designer for me.
Sure.
So it's, for me, everything has been referral game. But I think for startups, the number one issue I see with every company is just kind of streamlining or writing down in paper that these are the things which we need. Like, I think this is where I feel people are really, really long. And that's why the whole interview process takes forever. Like, if you take more than 6 months to hire a senior or junior designer, there's something wrong with you, not with the design fraternity or the design company. There's something you have not figured out. So I think the number one game becomes in just making sure that you are very clear on what you are looking for, and also in that order. So what I mean by that is, whenever you have different stakeholders in this whole process, right? Let's say if, as a head of design, you are saying that I want skill A, B, C, D as such, right, in that order. And the product head says, I want skill A, B, C, D, but in a different order.
Sure.
And whenever the interview process is hiring, usually the mediator is the HR in terms of taking the feedback. So that's where you see that, hey, it's just going round and round in circle, even though everyone has agreed on 4 requirements, but maybe the percentage and the ordering is completely different. So I guess if people will solve 50% of their problem if they just narrow down what they are looking for.
Sure.
And with everyone, I think if you don't have any brand, or you're just fresh starting out, referrals is definitely the way to go.
Sure.
Reach out to some people, seek their referral if they are not interested, pitch their idea and all. It's hard work, but then you can be, the accuracy and making sure that you are getting quality talent, because like in my experience of folks I've worked with, the great designers are never, looking out. If the moment they think of looking out, uske pehle they will have 100 offers lined with them. Right? So the great designers are never looking out. It's just you understanding and pitching, or maybe something clicks in those areas, and that's when the whole hiring thing happened. I think the second question was on design ops. I think that if you are a bigger company, you have already done a lot of hiring work. You have great data points. You have a great mine of information as such, right? So you could kind of start off with that what has been, it depends also upon what is the information you have been recording, because you might be doing hiring for the lot time, but maybe all of this information which you need are not, kind of streamlined. And then kind of like how we do design process, right? Like just understanding what are the pain points you're solving. So let's say your problem is that your funnel is not broad enough, or let's say you are so many people apply, but you are not getting quality talent. Or maybe the folks who are starting out as an interview process, they drop out midway. So just starting out with that goal, and then doing the entire, how we do the design process, and figuring out that it depends upon whatever data you have, and making sure you work on all those aspects. So that becomes a great starting point, and also it's a big reliever for a team, because now you have hiring takes up a whole lot of resources from the hiring manager and designers. So the fact that you have a design ops team and you can leverage that's such a grand luxury, and you can use it to your advantage. Like you can beat competition left, right, and center if you prefer that.
Yeah, and again, like you said it out loud, but one of the realizations for me and my team was that, hey, this is just another design problem. Right? And this is just about delivering an excellent experience to the candidates, and looking at the funnel and see where they're dropping off and why they're dropping off, right? So it made a lot of sense. Like every problem is a design problem, but recruitment specifically, because it's about making the candidate feel good, and it's also about trying to objectify something which may not always be tangible, right? Like you mentioned, percentages and scores. I've done that and seen that in the past, that people make these evaluation criteria and put numbers there, but they're not internally aligned on what is it that they need, and they end up with a jumble of scores at the end.
Absolutely.
And nobody can really and it takes quality to judge quality also, right? You need to know. Kedar, you want to take the next one? or anything?
Yeah, I mean, it was, we were just having a chat saying like, should we venture into referrals? But you have briefly covered, but what are the downsides of referral? Because then you're going around in the same community or the same pool, and there is fresh talent coming in. So how do those things work?
So, like I said, since I work on more senior talent, there is no such thing as fresh talent. I mean, like fresh talents usually relate to someone coming fresh out of school and as such.
Yeah.
But I think the downside of referral, where I've seen referral going wrong, is where people form a cult of designers, wherein let's say I am the bad designer, and let's say for some reason that person got hired in a very good company at a very good position. So if they have a cult of not so great designer, for lack of better words, around them, or let's say from a company standpoint, they are grade B in terms of, rather than talent A plus as such. So they would make sure that this person is really great, cite references and all of those things. And again, the reference pools become the friend of the candidates and the product manager who is really good with them and those sort of things. So that's where, and it happens with the companies, and specifically it happens when the company is beyond a point of, like, let's say 10, 20 members, 30 members and all. Like, you're launching products at a very rapid pace, and as we have all agreed, that hiring process is very taxing and very long. It takes a good amount of time to figure out the right person, right? So if you have a good designer in the team, and the person is saying, hey, I have 5 or 6 of my friends, I will get them as a referral, and more or less companies do have this referral bonus attached to it, so it becomes like a win-win situation. And I'm working with all of my friends, and before you realize that, hey, this has become a problem, you have already created a mini cult within your company. So now you don't have to fire one person, you have to fire 10%. And that's a very, very hard thing to do. How can you fire 10%? Because it's not just about removing those person, right? Whenever a company fires someone, you are sending out a message, and you don't know how the viral message reads to that, oh, this person didn't like me. Everyone has their own theories, because let's face it, nobody is going to accept that I was wrong or I did wrong. So it becomes a whole together different show. But that's one thing where I've seen that the references can backfire really, really well if you are not very careful about it.
Sure. As Guy Kawasaki says, that if you hire C type people, you'll soon be surrounded with bozos.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool. On that note, we'll be right back.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On This Round Is On Me, Shaili Chopra shares with Gauri how they hit 750 million on She the People TV. We have a new show, The Last Brand Standing. Anupam Gupta and Ambi Parmeshwar get together and discuss some of the biggest and most public feuds in Indian brand history. Do check that out. Taste the lip-smacking palette of Karachi with Bilal Hassan on Naan Curry with Sadaf and Archit. On Misconduct, learn all about Dawood Ibrahim's sister Hasina Parker with Raghvi and Nisha. Is the Indian Constitution queer-friendly? Find out on the Longest Constitution podcast with Priya Mirza. And on Audio Gyan, Harish S., design head at Cred, talks about his Carnatic rock band and design as an art form. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any other show for that matter, please do tell a friend. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week: Seat, Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quarter, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Intuit India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Hey, we are back. I have a lot of questions, but there's no proper order to it. So, Abhineet, you want to take up next?
Sure. So,
I mean, because the biggest concern or biggest insight which you can give us is about. Sorry, I'm just jumping, but is it the salaries which I wanted to just discuss? I know it's a very sensitive. The salary, the compensation part of it. It's kind of sensitive, but I want to be bold about it and generally ask. Even when I was just creating like a small Excel of what sort of a salary like a 6-year experienced person should have as opposed to 8-year experience. And when I just float it around with a couple of friends nearby, as in like within the network, they say, yeah, this looks good for Bombay. This is different for Bangalore. So you have any insights about how the dynamics of these compensations are working? You have any observations which you have made into notes, and is that like a good question also? I don't know. Matlab, I
Sure,
want
sure.
to touch upon it. Abhineet, what do you think?
Yeah, I do think we need to talk about compensations. Let's start with talking about why are compensations so sensitive to begin with. Like these are such, like Kedar is like, has been working for what, 30, 40 years now, Kedar?
Yes.
Right? And why are we still so coy about talking about compensation? We can probably...
Yeah, I don't know. It's Indian mentality. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I was just going through some of the JDs and some of the links online, and they clearly said like 11,000 euros is what you'll get. And I was very surprised to see that, or maybe they have written 11,000 euros plus is what you will get. Right? So I was happy कि यार ये मतलब खुलेआम लिख रहे हैं, but I think it's an Indian thing. I don't know. Maybe Vasudha can have more insights.
Yeah, it is because I think the overall mentality becomes because see, this is subjective to every company, right? So even when I was hiring earlier, also like for senior junior positions, you could clearly see people who are coming from creative agencies background. They are paid at least 1 or 2 levels less at minimum, if not more, as compared to product companies. Guys, you're going to land me in so much trouble for this question. But yeah.
No. I'll create more trouble after this. Finish your answer.
Okay, so yeah, clearly you see that the people who are coming from creative agencies background, they're paid much lesser. So the challenge becomes that hey, even if the person is doing really well in interview process, the standard thing is that give your salary slips a 30% hike uske upar se. And the other problem it creates is that, for example, if you have worked in companies where you have good amount of stock options, be it early stage startup or be it like established organizations, right? Like you are paid less in CTC, but you have more of stock options. So how do you go about negotiating it? So for let's say if you have been with a startup for 5-6 years, your package has been low, but you have like ESOPs, good amount of stock options. But when you join a bigger firm, you can't compare the prices because जो भी आपका highest होगा stock option का in your startup, it's lowest in terms of the numbers which a bigger company is giving.
Yep.
So if the HR is matching those numbers, they'll be like, नहीं हम तो आपको फिर भी ज़्यादा दे रहे हैं, right? Like your valuation was this, our valuation was this.
Yeah.
So you can't ask for more. So we are only going to give you 30% on top of CTC, and that salary just doesn't cut it. And so it become kind of a situation for designers, and also since like you rightly called out, like design, this whole salary thing is such a a taboo topic to kind of talk about, that even designers best friends among themselves, they don't talk about the salary thing. There is so nobody, they knows a lot of issues about this. This is happening in that company, all that drama which is not supposed to be aired is like aired all right, left and center. But then the challenge comes in that nobody knows that what salary I should be getting at that level.
Yes, and it's somewhat strange to me that when you're interviewing, like HR's extreme focus on the last CTC.
Yeah.
Right? Because to me, like sometimes I wish like you should know what this role that you have created, that you're hiring for, you should know what its value is on your own as well, right? Like just saying that somebody's coming from a creative agency, and we touched upon this Bombay Bangalore thing as well, Kedar, right? I'll tell you my story. When I moved from Pune and I was in my own agency, right? So when I moved from Pune to Bangalore, I got the shock of my life, right? Because I was like, I questioned everything in my life. Like probably we were billing our clients way too less, right? Because when I realized how much people are paying in Bangalore, all of a sudden, right? So our whole valuation, right? There is no system, first
Absolutely.
of all. Second, like every company values design differently. And that's maybe something we can talk about, and without making it controversial, Vasudha. You talked about compensation benchmarking, right? Like companies, like in design circles especially, what is the return on investment on design has forever plagued design leaders, right? And I always ask, like, first, let's figure out what is the investment. The investment itself is not as big as in, say, product or engineering. Then why are you so worried about the returns? So when you talk to these companies, are they still, are the founders and the founding team in general, are they still clueless about what is the value that design adds, and why the compensation for designers should, if not be at par, but at least be in the ballpark of what they'd give a senior product person or an engineer?
So I think that has drastically changed. Again, there are all side of companies and clients. So for me, the kind of companies I work with, or I would say not even companies, the hiring managers is what I see that the baseline is kind of established that, hey, I'm helping you find the right person easily and effectively, but ultimately the person is going to join you, not me.
Sure.
So that person is also evaluating you. So if you are not doing a good job of hiring and pitching from your end and being like very forefront about it, then I'm not the right person to do it.
Sure.
And also in the initial discussion, the amount of questions and the back and forth I have with the hiring managers, that I end up speaking with different stakeholders. So if someone is someone who doesn't understand the value of design or doesn't see that why I should be spending this much time with the recruiter and all, I tell them upfront that I'm not the right person to work with them. You should hire some other agency to work with as such. I'm sorry, I forgot what your question was.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, is it a struggle to convince the founders that, hey, design salary should be competitive? Do you also have to do the job of explaining to them why design is valuable?
Not anymore, I would say. Like,
sure.
I think it's very like once or once in a year or twice in a year at max, I would come across a company where they are saying all good things about design, because specifically when everybody starts pitching, they're in this pitching mode.
Sure.
And unless and until you start little bit working, or you have a couple of calls, you can't figure out how much is pitching and how much is the real talking.
Sure.
So, but I think I've had my share of failures where I have taken the brunt of it. I think with every designer, it's freelancing, like figuring out the right company, right clients, right set of client. You always have a little bit of your own set of failures to figure out the learnings and learn all of those things. Yeah. So I've had, hell lot of those bad. Now I can at least figure out that, hey, this person is not really interested in design, or they don't really understand the value of design to go about this process. But apart from that, I think more or less the folks I'm working with, I'm surprised that everyone is convinced that, hey, design is going to be their biggest differentiator.
Sure.
More or less, the product is doing well, or they've gotten this funding and all. And also, I think, with Airbnb, Slack, and, Stripe, those sort of examples. Yep. And again, YC is very active in India as well. So there is a lot of changes happening in the ecosystem where there is, I think in India, I would say there is a lot more design awareness, but the maturity, I think it's still fairly low if you compare it to West as such, because again, design leadership is fairly new in India.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel that people do understand the importance of design. So with me, at least, I don't see any struggle. And if there are any, I don't work with those people. So I'm not the right person to kind of talk to you about them. But
sure.
Overall, in general, I feel that the people do understand that design is important. And think of it like if a Series A or a seed-funded startup is looking for a head of design, that talks volume about they understand why design is important. Because specifically when you talk about just building the product, like that's something even traditionally senior designer, junior designer, lead designer can do the work.
Yeah.
So the fact they're thinking about getting a head of design from start itself, that kind of puts, that makes me feel that, hey, India is in a very right trajectory.
Sure.
I think you're just, मैं थोड़ा सा pessimistic angle ले रहा हूँ. Maybe it's also the peer pressure. It's not really valuing, but यार सबके पास है, मुझे भी एक designer चाहिए types.
That does play a part, definitely, because currently, right, like having a head of design, having 6-8 member design team has become like a default standard. I think even investors would kind of question that you don't have a design head, like, that there is that pressure as well. But having said that, if you are putting your spending somewhere like 50 to 70 lakh on getting some leadership position in design, then the problem, like for a founder, right, to think with like, what is the return am I getting? If they're not convinced, nobody is going to get that. And again, in past, we have seen a lot of those things wherein, design lead have been given a head of design position, or like senior designer ko VP of design bana diya. Those sort of transition has also happened.
Correct. यार 2-3 सवाल उसमें से स्पन हुए, बट जस्ट टू मेक इट अ बिट लाइटर, क्योंकि ये काफी थोड़ा सा हेवी लग रहा था मुझे, इन अ सेंस रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट से ज्यादा आई वुड ask you probably like a lightweight question ki what are companies at series B onwards looking forward to in a designer? Are they looking like a more generalist kind of a person or like a specialist, because that also defines their taste or their expectation, right? And on the same side, designers की क्या expectation है जब वो कोई भी company join कर रहा है, क्योंकि आजकल उसका भी एक अलग trend है, मतलब compensation is one, बट जैसे आपने बताया कि एंटरप्राइज में काम नहीं करना है या सप्लाई चेन साइड पे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं करने हैं, मुझे तो लाइक व्हाटएवर उबर टाइप फ्लैशी कुछ बनाना है,
कंज्यूमर
साइड या तो इनफैक्ट आई हैड अ पीएम इन बुक माई शो, वो बहुत ही ज्यादा क्लियर था कि मुझे हमेशा सप्लाई चेन साइड के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने हैं. वो बुक माई शो में भी लाइक सप्लाई साइड देख रहा था, और आई थिंक नाउ ही इज गॉन टू Zomato. बट या कमिंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन कि डिजाइनर्स के क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है और वैसी कंपनीज के क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है?
So you're asking this for which level specifically? Because it differs for every level.
Senior to leadership, I would say, because I don't know, because that's what your forte is, so maybe you can give that.
So for leadership, every stage company has a different set of problems. So whatever works with an early stage startup won't work with a company like Flipkart, because the scale and magnitude of problem and the culture of it, it's completely different. So let's say if you are a early stage startup and you are hiring your first head of design, you have, and I'm assuming you have a set of 5-6 designers, or you're looking to build a team of 5-6 designers, right? So the core thing, or I think apart from the UI UX wala part, too, it's different for every company and depending upon what you are doing. But a standard is like you are supposed to be knowing all of it if you are getting hired for head of design. But keeping the technical aspect aside from design, the challenge becomes in for early stage startup, you are looking for someone who's a hustler, who can work in a chaotic environment, who can juggle multiple hats, because there is always something or the other, which is burning or which needs to be made, in a very short notice of time, right? And there is a, basic sense of, this person has to work really close with the founder. So someone who can understand a little bit on the product side of work as well, the product roadmap, if you're understanding, and the business side of design, understanding the key metrics, or at least having the capability of learning or having the willingness to learn all of those new things. Someone who is a very quick learner, and even if you are a perfectionist, you have to have this ability to keep the perfection side of it aside, because nothing can be perfect, sure, specifically in early stage startup world. So, and going back, if you are in a mid-scale startup, wherein this is a kind of very interesting or new problem which we are seeing, wherein the startup is in this, the design org is completely going a ship, wherein you have scaled it to like 15-20 members, but ab aapko, you have to double the team size in like next 1 year. So whatever has worked for, all these, a lot of there's patchy stuff, putting Band-Aid and making things work, those things won't work. So now it's about, that's where I would say the design ops and design system scaling part of it comes in. So here it's an interesting mix of set, because you have to be kind of a little bit of startup designer, in the sense you have to be kind of I would say journalist plus specialist specific, a blend. So it's a new blend which is kind of coming in. So common things becomes is that you have to do stakeholder management, you have to have setting hiring guidelines, doing hiring practices. Probably if you are getting hired as a design director or head of design, you have to have design manager. So suddenly it's not designers reporting to you, you have a design manager reporting to you.
Yep.
So how do you deal with those dynamics? That's a new set of things which is coming up. Again, when you were working with a bigger company, more or less like, whatever is written in the job description, whenever I speak with the actual managers who are working on this role, hands-on design to gaya, like hata do. There is no such thing in hands-off design which is ever going to happen. If you have come to that scale. Even if the company is, during hiring, companies are very adamant about we do need a hands-on designer. You really don't have any time to become too hands-on design. Like, so, but dealing with the other side of it on, you have to do a lot of stakeholder management, because kind of defending design and, let's say you are in meeting with 10 product head and multiple heads. I know Vineet is nodding.
Yeah, like I do meetings with 10 product heads regularly. That's not a strange scenario.
So like doing that transition, and for that you need to be really, really good with your stakeholder management. Plus you need to understand the business side of design very well. Very good with the product business understanding and all of those sort of things. So suddenly you see that your transition from design, say completely PM, you're basically PM with a design hat. Because everything is gone in meetings and all, and that's the core part of your job. And it does, people who are doing the transition, it does take a while for them to kind of getting adjusted to this fact. But if you're not doing that properly, the whole design team has to get the heat of it, right? You have given away too many resources, whatnot. So with every level, I think the core roles and responsibility, the expectations from the design leaders change. Coming back to the second part of question, what designers look at, boy, I wish I could, my dream would be to become a Yoda and just say that this designer ko ye chahiye, like I have, mastered everything, that sort of thing. But you are dealing with people, and people, the thing with hiring is that you change in couple of composition, like you change the salary, you change other dynamics. Let's say specifically during COVID times, right? Like you have a dependent parent, or let's say you are the only breadwinner of the family, or you've just become a parent, and it would maybe you have a set of responsibilities, right? So the whole, like I've spoken with designers wherein they've said that I would have preferred this would have been my ideal job, but no longer. Like now I want to have a little bit more relaxed job, and there's nothing wrong in that. It's just that I really admire people who have a great understanding of this is my core skill strength and this is what I'm looking for. It becomes such a delight to work with them, both for companies and designers, if that part is sorted. So for designers, I think it really varies, man. Like for me, the biggest learning has been as a recruiter is that a lot of so-called I would say, like for whenever you see social media, you see that hey, this is ideally this is your like dream designer path. Like you work with this company, you have like itne saal mein you become this person, itne saal mein you get this position and all. But I have spoken with really the best of the brains when it comes to design, and what has been special about them is that every one of their journey is so unique, and that's what actually makes them who they are. And to me, it was such a great learning. I wish I had met or I've done these calls earlier when I was designer, because I really, really suffer from massive imposter syndrome. Nothing I do is never good enough. I do have anxiety as well. So, and these two things put together in an equation never works in my favor. So whenever I spoke with designers, I was like, oh, you feel that you are, like you have not done enough. What the hell is wrong with you? You are perfect. Like you are this ideal bookish definition of good design success or the great design success. But that has been like a really surprising learning that, everyone is different. Everything makes them unique. And thus it is very hard to pick the couple of things which I've picked up from is that specifically if you have to talk about the great folks, why they are joining the company, or whenever you see a change that, hey, someone from who was, drawing crazy amount of salary in a startup and is like in a bigger company has gone to an early stage startup, And the question comes in, what the hell is wrong with you? I've done all of this. Why are you going back? But overall, it comes down to ownership. What is the problem you are solving? What would be your contribution to it? What are the kind of people you are working with? Let's say if you being very ambitious here, but for every company when they starts with, they want to become the next big thing, right? So
Obviously.
It's not wrong to kind of say that analogy that, hey, if you are working with the next Google, next Facebook as such, or you get to be a part of it. And of course, the people you are working with, there are certain, I think every one of us have gone through this journey where there are certain set of people that I would work with them for free. Like I would pay money to work with them if they are, starting something as such. If you put all these people in one equation, I would love to work with them. So those sort of things. And again, what is the growth you will have? Let's say if this bet kicks off or, you do really well, what is the learning? What is the growth you have for next couple of years? What you can see? So these becomes, and the compensation part comes in, and the equation of it, like which designers prefers what, it just varies from person to person. And again, now I've learned this with COVID situations as well.
Sure.
Yeah, but Vasudha, you are sounding a bit idealistic in a sense कि ये सब दिखना चाहिए. ये सब दिखता है.
This is what people kind of look for. Then there is really no clear cut way for defining that इस पर्सन के लिए. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लाइक अगर कोविड के पहले मैंने किसी पर्सन से बात करा था और उसने बोला था कि नहीं, आई विल वर्क विद स्टार्टअप एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स, maybe after COVID, during COVID, unfortunately the shit is not over, but during COVID, their equation has changed, wherein they are looking for a bit more stable job and all. So it would be a matter of 6 months, but this this changes for every person and depends upon situations as well.
I think Abhineet, we should do one with a recruiter who's hiring junior level talent, because I think that's
Vasudha can introduce us to someone.
I wish. I'm looking for one. If you are listening to this podcast and want to work, please reach out.
Superb.
This is me doing free advertising.
No, we will allow you space to plug the hell out of whatever you want to at the end. Don't worry. But Vasudha, you said so many beautiful things. There are two threads I want to pick on.
Sure.
One is, like, we talked a lot about leadership and stakeholder management and need for design managers, and you touched briefly on hands-on versus hands-off. One thing I strongly feel, and I think Kedar will agree as well, is this series is called Where Are the Designers? But there is another question, which is, where are the ICs, right? Like in every team that's growing, one thing I see is they take their best surgeon and they pick that surgeon and tell them, you run the hospital, right? So
that's a great analogy.
Yeah, you also mentioned senior ICs somewhere earlier. What's your thought on that? Like, have you seen some leaders go back to, because I think design is so young in India that careers are like 10 years is a long career, right? Whereas really it'll be 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So any thoughts on the lack of ICs in general, or is that different? Like, is that harder to look for senior ICs than it is to look for senior leaders or managers?
It is. So I think the challenge is that, I think specifically with COVID, what happened was, the reason why design leadership had a boom, because earlier in typical startup, it was like, product manager coming in and saying that, I like this site or I like this interface, make something like that. And you can manage a bunch of senior, junior designers with it, right? So IC specifically, like you touched upon, senior and lead ICs and all, there are very few companies who have, IC stacks specifically for them. More or less, when you are charging equivalent of a design manager salary, right? Companies would prefer that I would rather have a design manager. Why do we need ICs?
Sure.
I can get a senior or lead designer to get the work done. So though I'm seeing a great amount of role openings for, design leadership, there is of course, there is a huge demand supply issue there. But when it comes to IC, also, I think among in design, it is little stigmatized, like it's become looked down upon,
yes.
right? Why IC, मतलब इसके बाद तो तुम्हारा कोई growth होगा ही नहीं, like whatever number you have come in, that's it, हो गया, career खत्म. या तो you take a down hit, but there is, So this has been like, there are so many companies in West which are doing it beautifully, where you can be a design VP, design director, and then can be an IC, right?
Yeah.
But in India, there are very few companies who do it specifically at that level. If you have IC, your career stops at principal level pay. Uske baad, if you have graduated to design director and VP level, unless and until you do that part, tab khatam. And that's where the struggle with them comes in. So when you talk about principal IC, like this person has an experience of 10, 15 years at least, like minimum 10 years of experience, right? And for that person to, then become a manager, your profile is being compared with head of design who has, had those set of experiences.
Yeah.
So again, it's a double-edged sword, but overall the thing is that there are not enough opportunities in the company. There is no such IC track. Think of it, if a company has 30, 60 designers, how many designers you have for IC role? Like, what is the budget you have cut out for principal ICs? Can you have 10 principal ICs?
Yeah.
Unless and until that situation happens, this is going to be the case. It's if you don't have the demand, there has to be like the supply has to kind of figure out some different alternatives, because
become managers.
have to do something or the other. Like either you start becoming a consultant or do freelancing and these sort of things, and everything. I think after a point, if you're an IC, it sort of backfires. That's the truth of it. There are very few who would be successful, and even those who are successful, you have very limited number of options to kind of choose from, as if you look at your design leadership counterparts.
Sure. And my second thread on that note, talking of demand and supply mismatch, is about diversity in design leaders. We touched on referrals a little bit, right? And we talked about how that results in a very homogeneous setup. So when I look at design leaders, and there's not just design leaders, tech companies overall, right? It's a bunch of dudes, mostly from big cities, mostly fluent in speaking English. And I think this is more extreme at the senior levels, right? Do you see that changing? Any thoughts on what you can do as a design recruiter? Because you're the matchmaker, right? Any thoughts on this? Does this weigh on you?
So for example, I'm seeing that this shift is changing for like I was last, like this year alone, I had 3 or more clients who said that we have a design leadership position open, and the JD itself, which they have shared it with me, it was she.
Nice.
And then /he. So I was so happy to see that. The problem is that like even so with every company when I work, like we have a sort of very clear directive. Like I personally don't believe in JDs. Again, I'm going to be in trouble on this, but I create my own JD whenever I work with company. Whenever I speak with the different stakeholders, I narrow it down and then I brief on like these are the things you are looking for, and that's how the work starts. But when you start jotting down that these are the requirements, these are the things which we want ideally in this person. There are very, very few women in the community, and then if you have like a narrowed down list, it becomes even more harder. So there is only 1 or 2, if you are lucky, that person fits in the bracket, right? So with startups earlier, like early stage startups, I definitely try to push them that hire women, early on in the career, like in the company, because like you said, what happens is earlier when you was, hiring, you start hiring all guys and more or less people who are similar to you, culturally like from same college or those sort of things, right? Or referrals from one or the other companies. And then the challenge becomes once you scale to a different size, and it's like, we don't have any women in the company. Like there is no diversity. Then people start talking about, we should have diversity. Not that by the time it's so late. And then you have another problem that how do you make sure that the first women hire is comfortable in this? In fact, for me, I've always been like from college, I've been with in a gang of guys whenever I was like working or whenever I was volunteering for startups, and I would see fewer women, like 2, 3 as such, but I was so used to seeing that I thought that was the normal. And like for a very long time, it didn't occur to me that this was a problem because I would see this everywhere. So I thought that was a normal. So if I see any other woman, I would be very delighted that arey koi to hai, right? And I was so comfortable in this group that I never faced, like, touch wood, I never faced any sort of issue with them.
Sure.
So in fact, there was, one talk I was doing wherein a person came in and said that, I know this person from Practo, and he said that you were the only women techie they had. And it never occurred to me that I was the only women techie in Practo. Even though our team was like, there were 2 designers, but
Sure.
like when I was there were 2 designers and there were a bunch of guys. But it never occurred to me that I'm the only women techie. Even after I was in that role, I left the company. After like 1 year, someone spotted me and said that this guy was telling me about you, that you were the only women techie. I was like, oh, was I? Because of course, I never faced any issue. And I would see 2-3 women all around me. Like I was working with a content writer who was a woman. I had HR and a couple of other folks who were sitting in the same area where I was sitting. So it never occurred to me. And I think the problem is bigger, that in hindsight, I've accepted that I will walk into a room full of guys where you have 1 or 2 women, and that's okay. That's a normal. And I think only once you have, a little bit maturity, you see other sides of it and you read more, learn more. That's when you realize that this is such a bigger problem. And so I try my bit with every company I work with that try to include, but I've seen this trend wherein companies who have scaled up the team, the clear brief is that we prefer women candidates. Let's start with that. But it's really, really hard to build a core pipeline just for women candidates because there are not many. And so there is like a huge disbalance that now companies are looking for good women design talent, but there are not many specifically at a leadership position. Like you will still have more on, senior lead talent. It's still easier to create a, big funnel pipeline as such.
Sure.
But it's very, very hard, specifically at design leadership, when you kind of narrow down like B2C experience, isme kaam kara hua hoga, and all of those criteria, when you list down, there are very, very few candidates in those sectors. So that's where the struggle is. But yeah, I was very delighted to see the JDs written in she, and then they had to change and say that we are not omitting the he, so it shouldn't become an issue for us.
That's a step.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Cool. I think we've had you for really long, Kedar.
Yes. No. I mean, I'm
used to long calls. So like my average call whenever I speak with designer is like minimum 1.5 hours. So
nice. Yeah, designers talk a lot.
Yeah.
Before we jump next, let's take a quick break.
Come learn and experience the ABCDs of being queer with me, Shunetro,
and me, Farhad,
on our show Gay BCD.
The 2 of us take you through our stories and experiences of being gay men in the city of Mumbai and have candid
and sometimes downright scandalous
conversations about sexuality, gay culture, and everything in between.
Catch new episodes of Gay BCD every Tuesday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get all your podcasts from.
And welcome back to the show. I think we should do another with like more set of questions, which maybe Vasudha, you should tell us ki yaar, ask me this, because we might miss out on certain things.
Is there anything you wish you were asked but we missed out on?
I think there's one question which I told Kedar that, the common question I get asked is that state of design leadership in India, which we anyways touched upon. Yeah. I guess that's pretty much it. If we want to talk, we can talk for hours. Can go more and more in depth, so that conversation can go on and on.
Yeah. No, but if I have to put a structure to it, I had also planned to ask you this, that whom would you hold or whom would you consider responsible or accountable for this sort of leadership talent in India? Now, there are multiple stakeholders here, right? There are design schools, there are early age startups, there are different types of founders, there's alumni network. But yeah, I mean, if you have to conclude with this one question that you mentioned, that you try and get one person at least out of 5 hired, like how do you arrive at that? And then where is the biggest gap in the design community at a leadership level to match up to these expectations which the unicorns of India have?
Okay, those are very big multiple questions. I'll take one at one and then I'll forget about the second question. So you have to ask me again. So the first one which you said was that, great, I forgot.
वही design talent को nurture करने के लिए
I think leadership talent के लिए तो I would say that companies are the one which should be doing it, because they are the only one who have this luxury. Like when you start out as a designer, you can't become a design leader. Like you have to learn the craft well, unless and until you're going into project management role ka. So it's much easier.
But you have seen. That's where I wanted to plug. You have seen, at least I have seen bunch of 4-year, 5-year experience designers are head of designs. So I'm sure this is a very common thing now.
It is. I hope that there needs to be a lot of education from a designer perspective as well, because specifically when you didn't have that learning curve, right? Like you end up with every level, once you're putting in the effort, you learn a lot of nuances and skills which may not seem obvious or necessary at that point of time. But as and when you climb up the ladder, those skills becomes the core essential, or that can hamper your success a lot. Like your growth will be limited once you reach at that level. So a lot of times when designers do this jump, when you are a senior designer at one company or joining as a design head or leadership position and all, there is not a clear sort of structure which you have got down. Like what I mean by that is that with every level, right, like you have a certain competency, like every company has this competency benchmarking done for every level. These are the things you're supposed to be doing. And if you are a designer, who hasn't worked with a design mentor, or let's say head of design, if you're not like seeing people around you, that what are the skill this person in design lead has as compared to me, right? Like what are the other additional skill set which we're seeing in action, that okay, this person is better than me in those aspects. Because when you are sitting on a let's say senior level, it's very hard to kind of evaluate PP ka design kya kar raha hai, because a lot of those things you're not even a part of those process, so you don't even appreciate those nuances and skill set. And the common assumption is that like when I go, there's a lot of like false overconfidence that they also learned it on this person is not doing a good job, or I'm not happy with this hiring manager as such, so I'll do better than this person as such. So it's a lot more easier to kind of relate to 1 or 2 levels above you to see that okay, these are the skills that this person has, and can I cultivate it right away in this job? If not, how should I go about it? How should I learn all of those things? And then I think there is a lot of coolness in design, for lack of better words. That design has become the next cool thing. जैसे कि तुमको जल्दी पैसा बनाना है और जल्दी cool title चाहिए, designer बन जाओ. So there is a lot of those things which are being propagated, and like I'm not a part of any design school. I don't know what courses they are running, but there has been of lately there has been a lot of this, that 20 hours me you take this course, you become a designer, right? Like, and you earn this much money because you take this course, and you become this certified and all of those things. Guys, if design was so easy to solve, sab automatic kar lete, why would even hire a designer if that was the case? So there is a great misconception from a designer's perspective as well, and again from a company side, it is basically a way to hire great talent at a cheaper cost, right? And like I'm guilty of this as well. When in earlier days when I started design hiring, I would tell companies, or was a part of this whole process where a company is saying that okay, this person is a senior designer there, we will hire them as a lead designer. But I didn't went to this head of design level, but I did went like one level above, कि अगर कोई senior designer है, आप उसको lead designer का title दे दो, even though they have not completed the whole tenure of senior designer in the company. So hire it with those things के लिए. But again, that backfires even as a company. The reason being, you are only looking at for a short time perspective. Let's say this person gets hired. Of course, they are not that qualified for a head of design. You have given them the title, And now when you realize that your company actually needs head of design, what do you create? You create a VP of design, and then the VP of design comes in head of design. And then like, how do you, this becomes like a vicious cycle. And it's not just about the, VP of design or head of design. Since those titles are inflated, all the junior titles are inflated.
Yeah.
Because, a lead designer technically in a company won't come to work for a head of design who's basically a senior designer, right? So you have to inflate that title as well. So it becomes sort of a vicious cycle. And then at the end of it, it becomes like you are joining this company for the money part of it, nothing else. Right? So
Forget
that's
the
how.
title. Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So
we had
that's
this running joke in Book My Show. So I was as a AVP. So I think fairly senior position, but still if I have to reach the CEO, I think there were still 13 steps.
What?
Yeah, I mean, we had a joke around it, but yeah, there becomes like some extreme. So there's a trade-off also, no? Because you create these senior product designers 1, 2, 3, and then you have for. So yeah, I mean, I understand.
I never understood this concept of D1, D2, D3. Like, what is that?
Let's not go there. वो अलग एक design titles and levels in companies. That's a separate hellhole altogether.
Yeah.
उसके लिए maybe we should get like a
HR person.
HR person. Yes. Cool. And then the second part of the question, which I think we'll conclude with this because I know like we can just have endless conversation on this, and I'm pitching right away that we should do a part 2 of this also. Let's see how it pans out. Yeah. So how do you ensure that 1 out of 5 designers get hired? I mean, this could be a plug for you also, and generally to conclude on a happy note कि चलो हो जाता है, मतलब मिल जाता है बंदा.
Sure. So like I said that, again, I'm not a recruiter. Like I didn't know anything about recruitment. And the thing is that I've never been a hiring manager also in design. So I had no idea. मुझे बस interview experience पता था. I didn't know the candidate or the employer side of it, that how do you recruit? How do you do that part? So with me, I think initially it of course started off with startups के साथ, early stage startup के साथ, who wanted to hire me. Those were my first customers became. And I could see that these are the issues I faced, and these were the issues I created for the company. So if you want to solve this, hire someone senior than me, or these are the things you should be looking for. Or so it became a lot more from my personal experience. Like you're hiring first designer for a good amount of time, I was working on those positions. Like you're hiring first designer for a startup, this is how you should do it. And how I do it now, or even earlier, is like I said, I speak with different stakeholders in the company to understand very clearly on what is the product roadmap, culture, what is the growth opportunity for designers, what are the current challenges you are facing in this company for design, and all the plethora of all those things. And I do this with like different stakeholders, people who this head of design will be reporting to or working with on side by side. And then I run some exercise with them wherein we kind of clearly jot down that this is your skill set, these are the things you're looking for, and in that particular order. And this is what my agreed list on. If you reject any candidate, I'm just going to throw this list on you and see that ye kahan fit hota hai is pe, like whatever brief you have given, and then kind of go ahead from there. And with designers, I think why it works out better for me is, of course, being a designer, and it's been like 6.5 years in recruiting. So you have a lot of connect with people as such, right? So it's very easy to do reference checks. So with other companies, with every other company I work with, I have done reference check for other designers as well, which were not my candidates. So that helped in kind of expanding the pool and figuring out what is the hiring manager saying about this, and then also like learning from mistakes, that just because this person said bad thing about this doesn't mean that the person is actually bad. Just filtering out that kis company ke liye this person will be an asset, and then kind of navigating from there on. So once you clearly understand the requirement of the company, and also make sure that they understand or they are on an equal page with you, it becomes, half of the work becomes done, like because yahi pe sab galti karte hain. And again, with designers, since every designer I speak with, it's never about this is the JD, are you interested in this company? I don't go by this. It's always starts on that, hey, I'm doing this. I would love to hear your story, and that's how it goes. And that's where I said that my minimum call with designers is 1.5 hours long. Mm-hmm. So I have a very bad name in my family that the moment I say the first call, the reaction is "Ho gaya Bhagwan, chutti." So, but that helps you in really understanding what the designer is doing, what kind of companies, and then you can also advise them better that, hey, these sort of companies would be better fit for you. Because when you're working in a solitude, in one company, you don't know what are the other opportunities you have, and how do you kind of navigate in those scenarios as such. So that helps. And there's the other part of it is kind of streamlining the interview process. One of the thing I have with every company I work with, that if you have a very lengthy interview process, I'm not the right person for you. With every company I work with, the interview process should get over in 2 weeks. 1 week, well and good, but it's a leadership position, so 2 weeks are understandable. And I work with the hiring managers that, in terms of scheduling and all of those things, I make sure, because so that there is no delay, there is no middle land, no man's land wala thing happening. So just making sure, so with companies, my goal is that you should only interview candidates who are the right fit for you, and making sure they have a fab interview experience.
Sure.
So even if the candidate is a reject, the person would go out and say that, hey, this is the company I want to work with one day. And similarly with designers, because you are working with design managers already in the company, right? They have very little of time, and a lot of time good hiring managers are not good in their interview experience as such. Like, they're not good in talking about themselves. They becomes too humble. So kind of helping them in navigating those scenarios and making sure that they understand what the company is looking for and present it better. They put their best foot forward and they have a good experience. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm so tempted to ask one more question. I'll go for it.
Please.
But yeah, on that, like this question which you answered just now, I think trust will also play an important part, and exponentially, I think 5 out of 5 भी आ जाएंगे कुछ ही time में. So yeah, I mean, like सही काम है हमारे लिए. But on like speaking with designers and knowing their story, तो यार ये again थोड़ा सा romantic लग रहा है, but I've seen cases and people ranting and trolling about getting paid for doing a test. तो उसके ऊपर कुछ interesting है, मतलब कुछ मसाला content in a sense, because I've seen like lot of senior designers in Bombay. Abhineet, you'll be shocked. मुझे एक बंदे ने message किया, बोला कि यार can you send me a cab?
Can you send me a
cab to come to the office, to your office, so that I can come in a cab and मतलब इतना extreme भी stories सुने हैं मैंने. So you have any stories around that, like and what sort of culture? Because in I was looking at DuckDuckGo because a friend of mine joined, and उन्होंने तो clearly कहा है कि we'll give you a design exercise which will be paid. तो हम लोग ना मतलब ना इधर है ना उधर है, and then lot of these questions arise ना, like are you giving the assignment which is going to be a roadmap in the company, or is it like purely tangible, non-tangible to gauge my expertise in your company? Domain mein nahi hai. Those sort of things, if you have anything to share.
So touched on multiple things. I'll take one by one. So one is the design assignment bit. I am all for design assignment. Again, I'm going to get a good amount of backlash with this, but my version of design assignment with the company is, or not design assignment, I would say assignment in general, is for the companies who have figured out that this is the core competency for this role. If this person is not so, for example, one of the companies I work with for a bigger firm, the core thing was that this person has to be extremely good in stakeholder management. So uska design se kuch bhi lena dena nahi hai, right? So you can't give a design exercise to judge that person. That doesn't even solve the thing. Their core problem was that this person has to be very good with stakeholder management. So with every company, you have these sort of specification that we are hiring this person to solve this problem, or this is becoming a roadblock for us currently. So someone who has done that homework and designing a assessment exercise for that more or less it becomes currently for all the positions I work with, it's never like off lately, it's never been a design assignment. It has always been a product thinking exercise. So what I advise them is that, having kind of a whiteboarding session.
Yep.
But my perception or my observation has been in this, that rather than giving everyone on the spot design assignment or product thinking exercise, whatever you call it, not every person is sort of can think their best foot forward when you are presenting in those scenarios. Like if I am a candidate, if you tell me that ye problem solve karo immediately kisi product front pe, I will do a bad job of it. And the thing is, it's like once you stammer, once you stutter, and you have done this wrong thing, you go into this vicious cycle, and then it's kind of a done deal. What I advise is that send this exercise 2 or 3 days before. If the person wants to work on it, well and good. If not, you can, take it. And if you want to check on this on the spot thinking that, someone, the common notion or the, the pushback you get from hiring manager is that, no, we have all these things coming up and we want someone who can think on the go and all of those things, right? So you can do 2-3 rounds deeper in that, or you can have like have someone in the team who is intentionally saying something wrong or kind of contradicting the view, and see how the person is taking this. So there is a lot of things you can kind of do around that. So that is something I support. I'm very much opposed to a company, working on their own problems, asking them as a part of assignment, whatever their intention is. So my thing is, I believe it's 2 things. One, of course, is unethical. Second, it's very ineffective because you have been solving this problem for a good amount of time. So you have a lot of insight towards it. There's a lot of this bias which you have built it already, that ye problem ka usne ye solution kara, that nahi, we have tried this is not going to work. Like without you even thinking it, because you already have a lot of information on this. If you actually just want to, check whether the person is good in solving this problem or not, right? Like pick up a random problem, brainstorm it together, see how well you are working, because that's exactly what you want to see, right? This person will be reporting to you. You want to see how well this person is going to work with you. So check on that part. And in terms of privileges and all of those, like paid assignment wala part, I don't think unless and until it's for a junior or like senior load ke liye, where you have a detailed design assignments, that's where all this paid work kind of comes into practice. And India I don't see that getting implemented, simply the reason being there are so many people who are ready to do this for free. So there has to be pushback from everyone. Agar 100 log bol rahe hain, I will do this for free, and 10 people are saying I have to do it paid, the interpretation for hiring manager is ki ye log to bahut arrogant hai, we don't want this person, this is a wrong cultural fit for us. So that becomes the interpretation for them. In terms of funny stories on people demanding, I think there's once, this is like in 2015, wherein one candidate for design director or VP of design position ke liye, the person's, when I asked them about the feedback of, like, with every round I asked them that how did this conversation go and well, and for in-person interview, when that used to be the thing, his feedback was that उसने मेरे कैब का बिल reimburse नहीं करा. They said they won't have a cab. ये कोई मतलब की बात होती है? It's like, this is for a VP of design, man. Like, you can't pay a cab fare. I was like almost on the verge of saying I'll pay the cab fare. Like, please come for the interview. So they said this is a negative point for me in the evaluation criteria. So like those sort of cases also happens.
Damn. Also, like about on the spot thinking, right? Like if you're 1,000 people company with a lot of smart people, that's why I'm coming to apply, right? If they, with all the context in ears, have not thought of the ideas that I can think of on the spot, that's a problem, right? Like I'm not going to come up with the original thought without any context as compared to all the people inside the company. So tough expectations.
True.
Correct. Cool. I think we'll end on this note because it's been quite some time. I don't know how many people will listen for. I mean, like around more than 1 hour 30 minutes. But yeah,
I have one question for both of you.
Yes. Okay. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I have my own rapid fire. No kidding, just one question. So, what has been your learning, both personally and professionally, due to COVID, or in this whole pandemic?
Abhinit, you want to go first?
No, you go first.
अच्छा यार frankly ना मतलब I was when the first wave hit I thought of leaving Book My Show and I've joined a startup, and startup, you know how the environment and the pace is.
Right.
So frankly, in the last 8 months, I haven't introspected or given like a deep thought about where am I, what am I doing, how should I build, how should I hire. It's been just crazy lockdown situation everywhere. But yeah, after having like couple of good interviews in the last few months with AudioGyan only, I've realized यार हाँ मतलब overall जो situation पहले था वो आज भी है. It is just that people who are reaching out are a bit helpless due to their position in life, and yeah, it's tough after you cross 30, 35, unless you have that learning attitude continuously. It's tough because just few days ago I was talking to Abhinit about it. यार मुझे animation सीखना है और बहुत मतलब मन लगा के सीखना है. Now it's such a big friction because I've been handling teams and whatever, like different sort of stuff, right? So improving your skill set, improving. लिखते हैं लोग कि book पढ़ो और कुछ whatever, like pandemic में तुम lockdown में you can start your passion, but it's so tough यार. There's so much inertia. And if you are slightly privileged, still there is. Imagine the person who is not privileged.
Right.
So yeah, it's a yeah. Pandemic में अलग learning है. पहले वाला तो ठीक है, अभी तो almost gone types. I don't know.
Nice. What about you, Vinit?
I'd say that two distinct things I'm realizing or dealing with these days. First is like, I think this is nothing new. Everybody is realizing the value of those small interactions, the value that it paid in keeping relationships strong, right? Like just those infrequent, informal hangout sessions for a few minutes in a day during lunch, how much they contributed to keeping the morale up.
Yeah.
I'm realizing the value of that now. And the second thing is this I suspected before pandemic also, but now it's almost certain. There is no introvert extrovert binary, right? Like there is like everybody. I used to think I'm a loner because I sort of like dwelling in my cave, working late at night. But all the hardcore introverts I know, everybody is longing for some human connect. Not saying that people are longing to go back to offices per se, but we've lost something, right? And scaling up relationships on Slack, although being in Gojek with design team and people in 3-4 countries, like we were used to it, or we thought, but seeing people join remotely and leave remotely as well, now it's been a year and a half. It's a very strange it's a very strange feeling. Like can't articulate it, but I've learned the value of that. I used to be very dismissive of those things, right? Like I'm on screen, I'm talking to you, this is all of me. This is not all of me. There is something to be said about being face to face. Yeah, that's what I've learned. Right.
True. That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for listening, everybody, till the end. This is this last plug. I'm currently heading the design at Jupiter.money, and we are hiring at all levels. Visit jupiter.money/careers. And obviously for AudioGyan, you can follow on Instagram AudioGyan Moments, or visit audiogyan.com for more GAN sessions. I don't know, Abhinit, you will have a common, like a regular plug, but Vasudha, what plug? मतलब कितने companies का, like उसी में एक AudioGyan हो जाएगा कि ये 10 companies में मैं hire कर रही हूँ, right? But
that keeps changing. So I think LinkedIn, Twitter, or just good old email is a good way to connect with me.
Okay, cool. Abhinit?
Follow Gojek Design on Twitter and follow Design at Gojek on Instagram. We keep hiring, though not as frequently these days, but if we hire, you'll see openings there. And feel free to reach out for anything design on my personal account on Twitter as well. That's all.
मैं एक A/B टेस्ट कर रहा हूँ अभी as we speak. which is if you want any person to be featured for this particular series, please reach out and also send your questions at kedar@audiogan.com if you have any particular questions related to hiring or even firing at a senior level or leadership level. तो A/B test क्यों? क्योंकि ये लास्ट में कोई सुंदर है क्या देखते हैं. चलो, thanks guys. Thank you.
That's
Awesome. Thank you so
Yes.
much, guys. Lovely speaking with you. We should do this more often, like just
we will.
offline as such.
Yes, and we'll do a part 2 of this for sure. So thank you,
Perfect.
Vasudha, for
Perfect.
giving your time.
No, thank you so much for having me. Lovely.
Chalo. Bye, Abhineet.
Bye, guys.
And that's it from today's GAN session. For show notes and more GAN, visit audiogan.com. If you like this podcast, please don't forget to check our other interesting podcast on IVM Network. You can listen to us on IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or any of your favorite podcasting apps. To stay tuned, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at IVM Podcast. And if you wish to connect with me, I am at Audiogan Moments on Instagram. Until then, take care.
From uncensored and unfiltered chats with the who's who of the entertainment industry, I, Siddharth Kannan, bring you a very hardcore chat show called Candid Kannan. Tune in every Friday on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
உங்களுக்கு தமிழ் கதைகள் கேட்க ரொம்ப பிடிக்குமா? அப்படின்னா கதை பாட்காஸ்ட்ல ஒவ்வொரு திங்கட்கிழமை, புதன்கிழமை, வெள்ளிக்கிழமைகளை வெளியாகிற தமிழ் கிளாசிக்கல் நாவல்களை உங்களுக்கு புரியுற தமிழ்ல கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருங்க. இத IVM பாட்காஸ்ட் ஹோஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க. கேளுங்க கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருங்க.